Hello everybody, welcome back to Wolfeei Extras. Today we're going to be talking about blockwars rookies and then a little bit about Rising. So, starting off with blockwars rookies, I made two videos about rookies on this channel. One announcing that it's a thing and letting the YouTube frogs know, and then a second responding to some people calling it a copy of MCC. Now obviously, in this most recent upload, I said that I didn't know what people were thinking and why it didn't make any sense for people to call it a copy. But now I've been given more perspective from the other POV, and I understand the confusion. However, I will clear up why that confusion is also incorrect. So, blockwars rookies publicly was announced after Rising by a lot. I'll try to pull it up. Blockwars rookies was publicly announced on August 10th. Rising was publicly announced, as far as I'm aware, July 20th. So obviously Rising was publicly announced far before Rookies was publicly announced. So people thought Rookies is a response to Rising. Here's why that is not true. So, I can't really prove this too much, but you have to take my word for this. Blockwars Rookies has been in planning ever since Blockwars 6. You may be able to guess why. I will tell you. It's because we had a certain team who played, and they made a suggestion for, hey, that sounds like a good idea. And we already, a while ago, were talking about like wanting to host an event that's just mostly lower placing players or not really good Minecrafters, and putting them with someone who's a bit more experienced to help them go through the event. And then Rookies existed. Now, that, like I said, Blockwars 6, that's May. So, at latest, Blockwars Rookies as a concept was made on the 13th of May. At its latest. Alright? We knew about this event for a while. We just had some other stuff coming up. And also, I mean, it'll make a lot more sense eventually, but as of now, I understand the confusion, but Blockwars Rookies has been a concept way before we even knew Rising 2 was going to happen. Now, second thing, people are confused about it being called Blockwars Rookies, and it being similar to Rising because it starts with an R. I'll leak this, which I don't know if I'm allowed to say. Blockwars Rookies' original name was Blockwars Noob. However, we changed that because, well, it was an internal name, not an original name. We were never going to use that publicly, but that was the internal name. We changed that because noob is not a very nice word to use for people who aren't familiar with Minecraft, and I think rookies, and most of the staff agreed, rookies is just a better word, and it also sounds better, just works better. So that's why it's called Rookies. Originally it was going to be Blockwars Noob, which further proves that we're not trying to copy Rising or trying to work off of Rising. Like I said, this concept has been around for a while. It's just not been published. I imagine Rising was also in the works for a little while. It's not as if they just, the day before announcing it publicly, decided that they were going to do Rising. They probably knew about doing another Rising for a while. It just hadn't been public before. So, that's point one cleared up. I hope everyone understands now that Rookies is not us trying to combat Rising and trying to do something cool like Rising, trying to do something to, you know, be able to compete with MCC for this month. No, that's not the case. This has been a concept that we've had around for a while. I'm sure MCC had their concept around for a while as well. It just happened to be around the same time that stuff started to, you know, get in the works. I'm also worried about the Blockwars teams and the Rising teams getting announced around the same time, but we'll see. we shall see. Which then, nice segue into my second point, MCC Rising. Obviously, first, let me clear up this tweet. This tweet does not hint to me being in Rising. If you know me at all, you would know that I'm not stupid, and I would never publicly say whether I was in MCC before getting an MCC, because that is a huge risk, and I am not willing to take that. So, that's the first, I guess there's three things to clarify then. Third, I guess, MCC Rising. Now, obviously, people expected the Rising teams to be announced Friday and Saturday, Saturday being today or yesterday, depending on where you live. People expected those teams to be announced yesterday and today, Friday, Saturday. That would be the 11th and the 12th of August. Obviously, that didn't end up happening. So, what can we expect? Rising teams will probably come out next week. Not probably. They will come out next week. There's almost 0% chance that they won't. We just don't know when, because I don't think they'll necessarily stick to, I think it's Friday and Saturday, or it's Thursday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday. I think it's Friday, Saturday that they usually announce teams. Could be earlier. I don't think it'll be later, but I think it could be earlier. So it's something like that. It's probably when you'll see the Rising teams. Fourth point, I guess. I think it's very safe to assume that the Rising teams have been picked. I imagine they'll probably be doing tests with them again, just like last time. But I imagine that the teams have been picked. So don't get your hopes up if you haven't heard anything. Alright? Do not expect to still get a message, because it just leaves a lot of room for disappointment. If you haven't heard anything now, it probably isn't happening. So, now that all of that is out, just clarified a lot of stuff about rookies and Rising. My fifth point, which I will elaborate on once more info about Rising comes out, because I want to like try to bounce off of stuff that comes out from MCC so I can actually make content instead of just out of the blue saying things and people thinking I know stuff when I probably don't. And even if I do, I will not tell you. A few predictions about the next Rising and what I think will end up happening, just based on what I do know and don't know. And then nothing I do know, by the way, is stuff confirmed about the event. The things I do know is about things that are confirmed to not be in the event, as far as I'm aware. So, I think this Rising will end up being controversial, but good. So we'll see. I think it'll be a very interesting event, regardless of who gets in or who doesn't get in. But, yeah, I've seen a lot of people predict that this Rising is going to be insanely OP and, like, have super cracked teams just because of the ones that applied. Keep in mind, it's not a popularity contest, alright? Just because popular teams who are strong apply doesn't mean they get in. So we'll see. Also, I know there's been speculation about balancing and blah blah blah, this and that, whatever. Let's be honest, there's almost no chance that Rising will be balanced. I hope it's not just one team or two teams that are really cracked, but we'll see. Last time it was 3 teams that were really cracked, and it was kind of okay. Obviously, the two of the most popular teams ended up getting to Dodgeball, and then Pink Team won, which was a good ending for Rising. We'll see how that turns out this time. I could see like a viewer team like being under going under the radar and being super OP, and then ends up winning the event, and then everyone just goes, okay, cool, because it's not people they know of. But we'll see. We'll see. Alright, that's it for now. You'll hear from me, obviously a lot more over the time. I'll be talking so much about Rising, which is why I kind of hope that the teams come out early, because I want to do a couple of things. I want to do, once the teams come out, I'm going to obviously look at every single application and kind of look at why I think they could have gotten in, or why I think they did get in. Obviously, not kind of try to not be critical, because I don't want to be an ass. Second, I want to make my own Rising for teams that I would have picked, which I will do. I will need to throw a massive disclaimer on that, because people are going to assume that I think the people who got into Rising don't deserve it, which isn't true. Regardless of if I think they shouldn't be in, they deserve it because they got picked, alright? I'm not in charge for who gets in, so if they get in, cool, good for you. Do I agree? Maybe I do, maybe I don't, maybe I'm super happy with it, maybe I'm like, meh. But that's not my decision to make, alright? So, it doesn't matter. I won't say that publicly either, because I don't, like I said, I don't want to be an ass. Obviously, there's going to be probably a team in the event that I don't agree with, and there's probably going to be teams in the event that I am really, really happy about. Anyways, you'll hear a lot from me over this Rising cycle, because I will be making a lot of content surrounding the event don't get that twisted and think I'm in. I don't think I am, because like I said, I think they've already picked the teams, probably. I would be super surprised if they haven't, because I feel like they would be cutting it close a little bit too much. So I think they probably picked the teams, and because I think they probably picked the teams, I think there's like a 0% chance that I'm in, because I feel like I would have heard something. So, thank you all for watching. You'll hear from me a lot more. So, yeah. Goodbye, goodbye!